But when I was younger, I did not feel very attractive. I didn't feel like an attractive person. I didn't feel, and you know, it's I had relatives and cousins who were more attractive than I, and so I didn't feel like an attractive person. And there's an old picture of me when I was in school, and I didn't, you know, we couldn't afford the nicest clothes. You know, a lot of stuff was hand-me-downs or clothes that were donated through Goodwill, etc. So I had to wear a bunch of things that didn't necessarily fit on me well and fit properly, and I didn't always think of myself as an attractive person, and which is, when I think back now, I was a pretty cute kid actually, but yeah, I didn't think of myself as an attractive person, and as I got into middle school and then high school, I definitely attracted girls. I had girlfriends, you could say. I never had sex with a female in my life, but I had girlfriends. I had girls that were interested or attracted to me since like kindergarten, but I as far as actually having relationships with girls, I think I had 2 girlfriends. One was in middle school. What was her name? Letitia. I think her name was Letitia. She was my girlfriend in middle school. She was super cute. She was like big. She always had those like big dorky glasses, so she was a super cute girl. So Letitia was my first girlfriend, and then my second girlfriend was in high school, and her name was Lillian, I believe. And Lillian and I were boyfriend and girlfriend, and I think for myself, having a girlfriend was a way to deflect attention from my sexuality, because I didn't know what I was yet. I didn't know what my sexuality was. I didn't know I was a gay man, and so when I was in middle school, one way to deflect attention was simply just to have a girlfriend. And so I had a girlfriend named Letitia, who she was like all over me. She like to love me. But I mean, she was sweet and super cute, and I liked her, but it wasn't like a sexual attraction. It was more of like a friendship attraction. So it felt more like a friendship. But that was the first one. And then Lillian, she was the second one. Lillian, interestingly enough, we were like boyfriend and girlfriend for like several months, like I want to say 6 or 7 months in high school. And again, it was a way for me to deflect attention and to not have the guys like pick on me or have the males pick on me. But having girls attracted to me wasn't the hard part. It was the males. First of all, you when you're in middle school and high school, it's not like you have a whole plethora of gay boys or gay males to choose from, because everyone's in hiding. This was back in the 90s, so you don't have the option of like being able to have a relationship in that way. The only option you have is a straight relationship. And so Lillian, I remember, she wanted to give me a gift for my birthday, so she went and had a shirt made for me, and the shirt was my name, right? And so I think in the front it had one thing, but in the back it had my name. But it had my name misspelled. So my last name being Marron, Marron, she misspelled it and spelled moron instead. She did not even realize that she had misspelled it. She just misspelled it. And I felt awful because she spent her money, she made this shirt. So I wore it. I wore it to school, and I chose to get teased, because I definitely got teased for that shirt. So on top of me being teased and being bullied for being gay, I was teased for having a shirt that said more on the back. But I think she appreciated the gesture, because once she realized what it actually said, she felt awful and she felt horrible. But I mean, I didn't want to hurt her feelings and not wear the shirt. So I was like, no, she just spent all her money and she made that for me. I gotta wear it. So I wore the shirt. But I didn't have options, and so because I didn't have the option to date a male, I didn't feel particularly attractive. And this was in the early days of the internet. You could get onto gay.com or gayhouston.com and chat with people, but you're still a kid. You're still like in high school. So it's not like you feel comfortable or safe to just randomly meet people. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have any of those things. But I didn't feel attractive. And then once you get into that online cycle where you talk to guys and they want a picture of you and you see a picture of them, you start to get really nitpicky about things that don't really matter. And a lot of people online and on social media and on the apps, they just get really picky over the stupidest superficial things that absolutely have nothing to do with nothing. And so I would send a picture. Of course, it's not like I could afford really nice pictures. I would just have to take a picture with my webcam or whatever. But it wasn't like I could take all these glamorous pictures. And so it wasn't easy for me to get attention and to feel attractive. And so I was already being bullied because I was gay. I was already being bullied because I was feminine. I was already being bullied because I wasn't this tough kid. So I was already being bullied, and then on top of that, I felt rejected by gay men, and I didn't feel attractive at all. And then on top of that, I had a stepfather who was very abusive. And then my father, didn't want me. So all these rejections became a norm for me. It became a pattern, and I was always trying to feel important or feel significant or feel like I had value or worth through trying to look attractive. And so I tried very hard to look attractive. I tried getting haircuts. I tried working out. I tried losing weight, which is part of the reason why I lost weight the first time, because when I was younger, I was a bit overweight. And so I lost like 60 pounds one year. When I left school that summer and came back 60 pounds lighter, I remember one of the guys, the hall guys, he was like, "What happened to you? Are you on drugs?" And I was like, "No, I just exercised every day. That's how I lost weight." And so, but he couldn't imagine why I lost all that weight. So once I lost weight, I felt much more confident. I felt better about myself. It really helped me to feel better. But it was a superficial sense of being. It was not real. It was just a superficial sense of well-being, a sense of value based on my physical appearance. And so it's this constant, my appearance matters, my appearance matters, my appearance matters. If I'm not worth anything, that's why I'm being rejected, and I must be not attractive either. So all these things set in, and then you start to establish your worth and value on your appearance, and then you just try to work even harder. And I did go through a period where I was making myself throw up, and I would eat, then I would throw up. I would eat, then I would throw up. So I did go through a period where I was doing it to myself as well. But there was a lot of that, like focusing on my appearance, that became an obsessiveness for me, to the point where I was like wanting to go into modeling or be a model when I was like in my younger 20s, which of course I didn't do that. But it was like I was trying to prove to myself that I had value or worth because of my appearance, because I didn't see any value or any more. I didn't see how much more value or worth I could offer this world besides my appearance. So that is what I based my value and worth on. And when I got rejected on a regular basis, or I wasn't getting, I wasn't falling in love and meeting my soulmate every chance I got, that obviously was just doing a number on me. So all of that contributed to that. But I understand and I identify with this. And a lot of people do that to this day. I talk to clients, and I have people that they base a lot of their sense of value and worth around what people look like. How tall is he going to be? Is he going to be buff? Is he going to be attractive? Oh, he's black. I don't date black guys. Like, you have people who base a lot of the worth or value on what people look like, whether it's a racist response or whether it's a response on their attractiveness based on whatever features they have. And it's sad, because I have seen people go through life and spend their entire life alone or never having had a proper relationship because of that. And so whenever people ask me, when am I going to meet the right person, I kind of have to, like, if I pick up on that energy around them, I have to let them know, hey, here's some advice. Stop being picky. You need to be more open. Love comes in different ways, and it's not going to be based on someone's looks, and you won't be able to hold on to yours, so there's no point in being obsessed about that. I'm not saying you should go and look and find people that you don't feel are attractive to you, or that you don't find attractive, and force yourself to date them. You don't want to do that, because I did that. I forced myself to date someone I was not attracted to, because I was trying to prove to myself that I wasn't hooked on appearances. And instead, I was just basically, that was hurtful to the person that I was in a relationship with, because that person had real feelings for me, and I was an asshole. So I wasn't appreciating that person for who they were. Again, basing a lot of value and worth on the physicality of a human being versus what's going on inside. What do they actually bring to the stage? How they are, so there's different ways of seeing value and worth. And now I try to look past whatever people are putting out that they believe is of value for them, or that is their worth. I try to look past that, because what people think they're most valuable for is not what they're most valuable for. That's just what they believe. That's just what they've bought into, and they're basing their entire system around. That's not what it is. There's way more to a person than that. And so that's why I was telling the woman, the couple of people that I read for, I love catching people when they're just in their element and they're just like normal and like dress down, because I want to connect with the authentic version of that person. I don't want to just connect with the version of that person that person is only comfortable expressing or showing or sharing. And sometimes when you can break through the physicality of someone, you really dig into who they authentically are, and you see how much value, you see how much more there is to them in that way. So that's just my 2